breakfast at 6:30 in the morning. We're going on another trip, guys. So see you at the airport. Hey, I apologize for the sudden change of scenery, so sudden and so quick into the video, but no, this is not a sponsorship if that's what you're thinking. Well, at least not in this video, there's no sponsor. I just wanted to change the style of video, and what I mean by that is usually for my travel vlogs, I have it as a music video type, montage-like, little to no talking, and I wanted to switch that up, just give more of my experience, and just I have my tablet here just to give notes and stuff throughout the video, but I wanted to treat this as we're getting a cup of coffee together and I'm going through my phone and showing you pictures and videos of my trip, or we're on FaceTime and I'm sending you these messages. So if you aren't doing anything right now, go grab yourself a cup of coffee and we'll treat it as such. So with that being said, let's begin. Just kidding. Just like one more minute and then we'll get right into it. I just realized, looking back at the footage, I did not properly introduce myself. If this is your first video, welcome to my channel. My name is Isabella Tenorio and I am a freshman in college right now. This video is all over the place already and we haven't even started. But hey, if you're not new and you're a returning customer, that's not customer? If you're a returning supporter of mine, thank you so much. I missed you guys, and as I previously said, I've been really busy, so now we can start the video. Day 0.5. I'll explain why towards the end of the day, towards the end of the explanation. So we left for the airport at 6:30 in the morning because the airport that we were flying out of, which was Fort Lauderdale, was about an hour and a half, 2-hour drive from my hometown. Now, the plane trip from Fort Lauderdale to Guatemala City, which was where we landed, was about a 2-hour flight, so 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. And from there, we had to drive about an hour and a half to 2 hours to Antigua, Guatemala, which is where we stayed for the whole trip. Majority of the whole trip. And now, where did we actually stay in Antigua, Guatemala? Well, we stayed in a place called a convent. And according to Britannica, it is a local community / residency order, particularly an order of nuns. So Antigua, Guatemala was a very religious community and many nuns stayed there, and the convents, you could stay in them, like where nuns actually slept and did their daily tasks. Yeah, you could stay in them, which is, I find, incredible. You know what I mean? So that was awesome. I don't exactly know which convent I stayed at, but there's many of them in Antigua, Guatemala, of all price ranges. Now, after we arrived, we immediately started our day. So that is why it is day 0.5. We did not spare any time to relax, because that's what the nighttime's for, right? Yeah, no, we couldn't relax after our trip. After our plane ride. So from there, we left our belongings in the convent and we drove about 30 minutes to something called El Mirador, I believe. Or specifically, it's Altamira, as you saw in one of the clips. And here is just a bunch of statues. I don't really know exactly. It's like a touristy spot, Instagram spot. There's a lot of hands. There's 2 hands here that you could take pictures at, and it's really, really beautiful. That was the beginning of our hike. There's a lot of walking to do just to get to the hands. It's not bad. You could do it. As a Floridian, you could do it. It's just, there's a lot of walking involved just to get to the hands. It was absolutely beautiful. And the Golden Hand, as you saw, is one of the most Instagrammable spots of Antigua, Guatemala. So if you plan on going there, you should go there to the hands, specifically Altamira. Now, you saw the McDonald's menu. Okay. Every country that I've been to, I always go to the McDonald's and Starbucks because they always have something different, and usually they have more to offer than the American McDonald's. And as you saw, they had a bunch of stuff from different types of burgers, and they had a little cafe area, so they had a lot of beverages, and lastly they had a little ice cream area. They have an Oreo cone. It was delicious. I think they only sell that Oreo cone only in Antigua, Guatemala, because we went to another city that I'll mention later on. They didn't have it there. In Guatemala City, I don't think they have it either. So I could be wrong, but I tried looking for that Oreo cone again, another McDonald's, couldn't find one. So they have better desserts in Antigua, Guatemala than here in America for some reason. That's something I never understood. Like, the international McDonald's are way better than our McDonald's. We need to step up the game. They discontinue the good stuff. Anyway, that's a whole other rant for another day. And now we start with day number 1. A whole day full of adventure. Flashlights because it is so dark. I wish I could show you guys, but it's time to hike back. My throat's already getting really dry. We're only doing day 1 now. Alright, so we woke up very early. Not extremely early, but we woke up early so we could take a picture at the iconic clock in Antigua, Guatemala. If you did not take a picture, there, you never went, basically. So that's what we did. And going early is like the biggest tip as a tourist, because there's no people. So go early. And when we were finished, there were these dogs, street dogs there, and one of them that was barking really loud, he was protecting the female king, as he should. And she was like eating and stuff, and he just kept barking at all the other dogs, like, go away, my dog is eating. Like, my dog is, like, my girl's eating, so go away. So from there, we took these, hold on, I wrote it here. We took these UTVs. I don't know what's the proper term of the actual vehicle. It's the Polaris vehicles. If you know, you know. Please correct me if I'm wrong. But based on my Google search, that's the name of the vehicles we rode. So with the UTVs, we drove to a chocolate making house. Now, based on my research, I did not find the exact place I went to, but there is another chocolate making house that is popular in Antigua, that is called a Choco Museo. I don't know if it's museum or museo. Y'all just do your research on that. But basically, it's a chocolate making house. They make fresh chocolate. Now, as you saw here, the 3 or 4 clips that I showed is the process itself. I think I just missed one of the steps. And to start off with, they show them basically toasting the cacao nuts, not nibs, because nibs are like what's inside of it. But the cacao seed, I guess. I don't know the proper term, y'all. I'm sorry. Well, basically, it's the cacao seed, and they're just toasting them by hand because they burn really easily. So a machine is not able to do it. They do it themselves, and it was just incredible seeing these women just break them apart so easily and separate them, because I was over here trying to break one, and it took me about 5 to 10 seconds for them. Like nothing, like absolutely nothing. And they're just separating it from the shell to the actual cacao nib, which is what you eat on like smoothie bowls and stuff. And from there, it is, I'm trying to remember, I don't know what's next. I actually forgot because I didn't record the step. I'm sorry. But some process from there, once getting the cacao nib, I believe they're blended down to almost a powder form, but not exactly. They're grinded down to almost a powder form, and from there they're placed into a machine that grinds them even more to down to a powder substance. And with the powder substance, it's put into a bowl, and it's plastered. Is that what it's called? It's like they pound it down to the point where it turns into a solid, and then from there it's done. And it's where they now have these chocolate pallets where they make hot chocolate. Now, to my Colombians, it's the same process. Instead of using milk, they use water. Now, interestingly enough, in Colombia, it depends on the family itself if they use water or milk to make their hot chocolate. Specifically in the Guatemala culture, we were told that they use water. So that was really interesting. In my family, we use milk to make our hot chocolate. So to my Colombians watching, let me know what your family uses. And it did taste different. It tasted delicious, of course, but it tasted very different because they use water instead of milk. And I don't know, it kind of brought me back to like when my mom would make hot chocolate. She still does, but I can't make it myself here. And they have it as a beverage rather than like an actual meal. Like in Colombia, we have it kind of like a meal, like a breakfast or late dinner type thing. Once again, differs from the family. And while I was drinking this, I was like, a good slice of cheese would hit with it so good. Like, oh my god, it would hit. And hot chocolate and cheese, I found out Colombians only do that. I thought like most Latin American countries did that. False. It's not a weird food combination. It's no food combination. It's a meal, and y'all should try it. Get yourself some pure chocolate, but that's not cacao powder. I don't know. Go to your Latin market nearby. Ask for like hot chocolate blocks and have it with some cheese. Any cheese of your preference. I like mozzarella. That's another tangent. See, but it's like a FaceTime call, okay? It's like this is what I would do. Alright, so from there, we actually saw a movie being filmed. When I tell you guys, I was pooping my pants because it's so cool being able to see a set, but they don't have a set. They're using their surroundings as their set, and it was between the directors are two of them. It's an Italian and Guatemalan directors and writers. I don't remember the name of the film, unfortunately, but I hope it goes really well. It was a feature film that they were doing, but it was an indie film, not a large corporation, I guess. But I didn't know the details. We were just walking past. We did actually meet one of the actors. He was on break, and I hope his career takes off for sure. And I just previously showed you tortillas being heated up. Fresh tortillas. Most, if not all, restaurants that we ate at, they had these stoves in front of the restaurant. But like they're not stoves. I don't know what's the right term in English, but like a plancha, a really, really, really big plancha. And they were just making fresh tortillas there, like nothing. And did I eat a lot? Yeah, I ate a lot of tortillas. How could I not? And after that, we started our hike, and I couldn't be more excited to tell you guys about this hike, because it was absolutely incredible. But let me not get ahead of myself. Now, we hiked a volcano, and it's called Atenango volcano, and the elevation is 3,976 meters, or 13,045 meters above sea level. That is very high, very high. And this is according to the National Museum of Natural History, Global Volcanism Program. Yes. So everything I'm going to tell you is just based on that website. Once again, everything I say and I refer to will be linked down below, so you guys can check that out. And there are only 2 routes to get to the midway point where we stopped. The first one is a 7 to 8 hour hike from the bottom. No, my family and I, we're Floridians. We didn't have the time, and 2, we are just not hikers. That's not our jam. So we took the second route, which is a 45-minute car ride to then a 45-minute hike. And the car ride was about 2 hours, and it was probably one of the bumpiest car rides I've ever been on. I tried to sleep, and my head was like this, like a rag doll. I tried to sleep on the way there, but it was a lot for sure. And the fact, I was so concerned about the vehicle because we went in a truck. I thought the tires were gonna pop off or something. I was like, we need a Jeep Wrangler up in here or something that's like equipped for mountain terrain. But the truck did its job, and we got to the beginning of the hiking point safely. It was cold, so with the fit check I previously showed you, I wore my hiking boots, of course, and I wore leggings and cargo pants on top. And then I wore a long sleeve shirt with a jacket and then a windbreaker. So yes, it was cold. It was very, very cold. It was a fantastic hike. a hike. It was a fantastic hike. I don't know, like, it was just so incredible to just think like, oh my god, I'm hiking a volcano. Like, it's so cool. Fortunately for us, it was probably the best conditions ever to hike, because it was not windy or foggy or rainy or nothing. Clear skies on the hike there. The hike overall was not that bad. Genuinely, it was not that bad. Now, the reason why it was not that bad was because I listened to K-pop, and I will leave the exact playlist I listened to on this hike, because if it was not for this playlist, I was so tired, you guys. I was so tired, but they really distracted me for sure. I'm not a stan. I don't know too much about K-pop, but I really do enjoy it, and I highly recommend you guys check out that playlist. Really, it depends how quickly the group you hike with can hike. That really determines how long you get from point A to point B. So in our situation, because I had my younger sister, my mom and I, we're not really that athletic. So it took us about 45 minutes to an hour, but anyway, the average is about 45 minutes to get there. So once we arrived at the midpoint, it is really just a camping ground, a resting area for a lot of people, because from there to get to the very top, it's about an hour and a half to 2 hour hike. So people need the rest, and people do stay. They do stay there. In our case, we did not, because we had a very tight schedule, and it would be cool, but also we're not fit for that type of lifestyle when it comes to hiking. We hike and that's it. We are not camping. But yeah, we met people from all over. We met people from Canada, we met people from Costa Rica, and I believe that's it. Now I'm trying to remember, because we hung out with like a couple and like 2 other people. I'm trying to think. I think that's it. I don't remember. There was other people there, but it was just cool seeing people from all over being in one area. And we were fortunate enough to see the volcano. We did not see it erupt. It was active, you saw the smoke, but we did not see it erupt. That's a good thing, because that is scary. I was like, yes, I cannot wait for it to erupt. If it erupts, it's very dangerous. It is very dangerous. But yes, we saw an active volcano. Extremely cool. It was just great. It was really great. And we did have a fire going on, because once again, it is very cold up there. I don't know how cold it was, but it was very cold. And as time went by, it started to get really foggy, very cloudy. We stayed there for about 2.5 hours to 3 hours, just resting, preparing for the hike back, and just admiring the view, because once again, it was incredible. They did give us hot chocolate and some sandwiches, and then it was time to hike back. Now, once again, we were fortunate enough that the hike was not too bad, but it was very foggy. We did have to have flashlights on us to see, and we didn't need a mask, but I'm very happy that we did bring our masks, just because it was, I don't know what it is, but it was better to breathe, interestingly enough. I don't know the science behind that, but it's very common to have hikers wear masks, especially in colder weather. And so the hike back was super cool, super beautiful. Once again, listen to K-pop on the way back. And overall, it was an incredible experience. Do I recommend? Yes. Just bring hiking shoes. Hiking shoes were the only shoes I wore on this trip, and I couldn't emphasize enough to bring hiking shoes no matter where you are in Guatemala, because a lot of the attractions in Guatemala is to hike, period. So if you guys are curious to know what hiking boots I had, English, hello, I have, let me know down below, and I'll send you guys the link to I don't, if I can't send you to the right the exact shoe, I'll send you to the company and you'll see from there.
Conectando en la mitología maya.
Sí, sí, claro, la mitología maya.
En chopper. Justo conectó el material que se traía. Como es una plaga que lo matan, los picos. Ellas simplemente se cansaron de tanto chantaje que les daba el gobierno.
It's tough.
¿Qué tal es algo de
Stairs.
Van subiendo que estaban abajo. Y como bajan.
Hola.
And that concluded our stay in Antigua, Guatemala. We stayed in total for 3 days, 2 nights. Then we decided to change locations. And in order to do that, we took an hour flight to another city called Petén, which is where the Mayan civilization Tikal is located at. Now, there are 2 different ways, I believe, you can get to Petén. One of them is the hour flight, or just from Guatemala City alone, an 8-hour drive. And we did not have the time to do the drive based on our itinerary schedule, so we booked the 1-hour flight instead to save time. Now, when we got to Petén, we did not do anything there, so that is why the day 2 montage is relatively short, because we did nothing. When we got there, we just went to the hotel and recharged for yet another hike. And this hike is known as, one moment, El Mirador Pyramid. So we woke up once again relatively early, and this is the start of day 3. Now, as Billy mentioned, this is the day we will be hiking El Mirador Pyramid. And I have so many facts about this pyramid, you guys. So, this is so funny because I'm giving you guys like, oh, there's multiple routes in order to get there, but it's true. There's not only one way to get to these certain locations, which is really, really great. And it really just depends on how adventurous you are, as well as the time you have. So, in order to get there, there are 2 ways to get there. One of them being a 30-minute helicopter ride. Not too bad, but 30 minutes is a long time in a helicopter ride, may I say. Or, to those who are feeling a bit adventurous and up to the task, it is a 5-hour car ride to then the beginning of a 2-day hike. I'm not exaggerating. Like, it's literally 2 straight days of hiking. I believe they told us you take the 5-hour car ride, and then you start hiking, and then you sleep, and then you hike all of day 1, and then you sleep, and then you hike all of day 2, and then if you're lucky, you'll get there by day 2, and if not, then you sleep once again. So as you saw, once again, my family and I, we took the helicopter route, and it was just so insane seeing how deep into the rainforest or forest or jungle, whatever the geological landscape is, how deep we're going into it. When I tell you, you get put in the middle of that forest, no one's finding you. Literally, no one is finding you because of just how far this civilization was, that's insane to say, was at. It is incredible. The camera died, so sorry if there's a slight shift. It's okay, we got a new battery, we're good. Now, continuing on, as you saw, we wrote our names in this book, and it's more like a memory book because it is not common for people to come to this location because a lot of people don't even know this place even exists to begin with. So we wrote our names, and it's just to keep track how many people visited it, and it was for sure an experience of a lifetime. There are a few clips I believe I captured that shows it is an active archaeological site. And funny enough, actually, this July they are returning back there. Lots of archaeologist students and grad students and those beyond college and university that are going back there to continue to excavate the site. And we were told that over 200 people would be going. That is absolutely insane. But they also told us it's probably not the best condition to excavate because of how hot it gets, but they do what they gotta do, you know what I mean? And I just wanted to quickly say we did have a tour guide with us. We did not go alone on this trip, and same thing goes to the people that hike to the location. They have a tour guide to guide them there because it's new areas, you know what I mean? It's for our safety, to be honest, but as well as they are very knowledgeable of the area and what the structures and the history entails. There were these monkeys called howler monkeys, and I don't know if the video captured them properly, but when I tell you, they were so loud. They, like, if I could tell you how I felt the moment I heard these monkeys howl, I was like, this is the end. This is the end of my book. Because I was like, there's a jaguar here. Hello, God. Like, I was so terrified, you guys. And then the tour guide's like, oh no, it's just a howler monkey. And I'm like, what? A monkey? Yes, it was a monkey. We saw them. We saw the monkeys. I don't know if I was able to properly capture them. But yeah, no, they're terrifying. Do you imagine you sleeping and you hear that? Absolutely not. But it was super cool, I guess. It was just so scary hearing them. And as you saw, like, how high these trees are, man, and how much they cover. When we landed there, I was like, where? Even the landing pad's hidden. So it just scares me so much to know that there are people hiking to this location. Like, I'm scared for them. Like, you get lost, you're done. No one's finding you. You know what I mean? That is the most scary part. But we got to the pyramid, as you saw, and as we were climbing up the pyramid to the very top, we saw monkeys. They are spider monkeys, and they got super close to us. We got kind of scared because apparently they throw stuff at you and or pee on you. So we were quick on getting to the top as well as going down. But overall, an incredible experience. If you guys can go to Guatemala, make going to El Mirador the top of your bucket list, because once again, a lot of people don't even know this place exists, and it is so fascinating. We were actually told that within the next 5 to 10 years they might actually not allow people to climb the pyramid, because in order to keep the structure intact. So we are fortunate, along with many other families that have previously gone there, because we do believe that they're gonna stop the hiking to the top of the pyramid. So if you guys have the chance, go do that. Water break.
No hay evidencia de metales en el periodo preclásico y clásico de la Permia, no hay evidencia de metales. Pues en el periodo postclásico todavía se observan metales.
And now for day 4. We're almost done, guys. I know I talk a lot, but hey, if you're on FaceTime with me, sorry, just heard a car honk. If you're on FaceTime with me, it wouldn't be a little 15-minute chit chat, catch up with me. I'm going deep into my experience, you know what I'm saying? Going very much in detail. So, day 4, we go to Tikal, one of the many reasons why people go to Guatemala. And overall, once again, fascinating. One of the things that blew my mind the most was how a lot of archaeologists in general that go there choose not to uncover the tens of hundreds of structures that are still underground, quote unquote. They're just covered in trees and dirt. And we were told by our tour guide that they are choosing not to uncover them because it's the only way to keep them intact, and it is just a very expensive and tedious process. Along with the trees, it's very difficult to remove them from the structure itself. So they're like, you see a hill and you just know that there's a structure under there, because it's a relatively flat area and the only mountain-like structures there are the structures themselves, but they're just covered up from the hundreds of years that they haven't been seen or maintained by mankind, which is, once again, insane to think about. There are a lot of structures though that are completely uncovered, which is Tikal, the Tikal structure, the photo Instagrammable spot that is seen. And to know that archaeologists took their time to completely uncover these structures is just insane. It is absolutely insane. The one thing that really blew my mind the most was this was a thriving civilization. This was a thriving, how we are now, this is how they were back then. They were like a normal day, you know what I mean? And then over time they just disappeared, and for hundreds of years it was just quietness until until these structures were discovered. Now, I have a few facts according to the United National Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization and World Heritage Convention. So, the area of the civilization itself is over 57,600 hectares. Just know it's a lot of land. It's a lot of land. Another fact is the active ruling of the civilization spanned for about 600 years. So, according to this website, it said from year 292 to year 869. So, for about 600 years, they lasted, and then they started to decline until about year 900. So, it's been over 2,000 years since this civilization has been alive. This is really cool. Our tour guide told us that there are still active Mayan tribes that come to this location to perform ceremonies and ritual practices. And we asked them, like, are there still Mayan tribes, I guess, active, if that's the right term? I don't really know. But they told us, yes, there are still Mayan tribes, but they choose to remain completely disassociated from current society. They are doing their own thing. They have their own languages, and the only way to even get anywhere near these tribes are by 4 to 5 days of pure hiking. There are no paved roads to get there, no helicopter pad landings. There's absolutely nothing. It is pure hiking, and people do it. And that is, once again, mind-blowing that there are still these civilizations and tribes that are still continuing on these practices and ceremonies that have been passed down for hundreds of generations. And we did not see any ceremonies because I assume there's nothing being celebrated at the moment, but once again, not sure about that. So, to all my Star Wars fans out there, Star Wars was filmed at this very location. I believe I could actually show quickly the exact clip. Not clip because copyright, but from my video where it was filmed, and it was A New Hope. The first movie was filmed there, and to know that, hey, I was here, like, it's like cool as it on the side of, like, the tourist side of me, but then also the Star Wars fan, I'm like, hey, if you know type, you know what I'm saying? So that is very, very cool. And specifically, I believe this is the Battle of Yavin. Yes, Battle of Yavin. I did that. Well, it's like the moon. It's like the moon of Yavin. But that's like, there are lots of cool animals. They're all cool. I need to expand my vocabulary. This is embarrassing. It's fine. What are we gonna do? Lots of exotic animals. There we go. Cool. Lots of exotic animals that we saw. There's apparently 3 different breeds. No, that's not the right term. 3 different species of toucans within the Tikal area, and we saw 2 of them. Super, super cute. And we saw a rainbow turkey. Didn't even know those existed, rainbow turkeys. And now we concluded that day with some Guatemalan hot chocolate. Who doesn't love that? Now we made it to the last day, and I'm drinking a tea that they gave us because I got a stomach bug. Yeah, we didn't end so how to explain this? So great, unfortunately. To conclude the trip, a stomach bug, not the best way to end. But we were fortunate enough that it was the last day, because if we had to hike or anything, I wouldn't have been able to go, because it was very, very painful, and I did suffer with it even past the trip ending. Hello. But that is it, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this different style of video, this FaceTime slash cup of coffee slash hanging out with me style of video. It's more like a heart to heart. I know some people enjoy the montage like videos, but I myself, I want to hear what people are going through. I don't know if that's the right term, but what people experience, and just hear kind of like their stories as they're showing me what's going on. So I wanted to take that idea and execute it. So I hope you guys enjoy this video, and I guess I'll catch you guys in the next one. I am so dehydrated, you guys. Oh my god. I don't even want to know how long I talked for. Mind you, my notes, I put like bullet points and I barely even use them. So that's how you know it came from the heart. Love you all.